Good evening, DWR Randomizer, and welcome to Match 3 in the best of 3 matchup between Mand and NESCardinality. Winner moves on to take on Angel FM in the quarterfinals. Loser goes home. Hi everybody, I'm DK9146, and alongside me tonight is going to be Beta Strip. How are we doing tonight, Beta?
I'm excited to see these two go at it once again. We've had a couple tight races thus far between the two of them, and I expect another one tonight, although I am very disappointed in the fact that they start with the return spell, so they get a free look at the treasury.
Yeah, free look at the treasury. Strength, it's red, but at least it's not 4. It's not flashing. A little bit of agility, but pretty low HP. So we'll see if there's any starting items either in the throne room or the treasury with a quick check between them to get them going. Otherwise, they get to keep a key at minimum.
Yeah, and at 8 strength, they can fight ghosts and drakeys in addition to the usual red slime combo, although I suspect with the available treasury chests to them, they might have something like fairy water or that sort of thing to go after more enemies at the start.
Yeah, agreed. They might be able to get a little bit of a start here, but as we've been finding out during several of these tournament races, multiple levels doesn't necessarily mean we gain much in the way of stats or spells.
Exactly, and I'm also curious to see if we see a repeat of the previous 2 races where Mand will take an overworld grind while NESCardinality takes spike grinds.
Yeah, Mand's done a pretty decent job at finding some good locations overall during his grinds, and as you mentioned, these have been some really good races, but looks like we got the start going here, at least on one of our screens. We'll get them synced up momentarily, and we'll find out what's in this throne room in a second. So we're going to be starting out here with an herb and a dragon scale.
Honestly, that's the best we could hope for.
No, absolutely. Nothing to really help them out. You know, the herb could prolong a battle or something. We do see a cave off to the southwest right away after the outside, and Ness is going to go ahead and try and maybe walk over to that cave first before possibly checking the throne or the treasury.
And it's the Stones of Sunlight cave, so he gets a free chest, which is a key, so now you can definitely take a free shot at the treasury with that key sitting there.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, yeah, free keys in the freebie cave. You could even go in and out a bunch of times if you want to go that route, but he's going to check. Maybe there's some gold in here, and you can just buy them faster than rolling that cave back and forth. But chest in the bottom right, there's your gold. Up in the middle, we got a torch, so a little bit of offensive needed here. A death necklace in the bottom left, and top left, another gold chest.
So I expect Cardinality will just load up on keys here, see what cave is underneath Pantagel. Meanwhile, Mand is just walking back and forth in the forest outside of the start, looking to grind on drakeys and things like that to get level 2. I don't believe he saw the cave when he exited the start. Although now he has.
Yeah, surprising, and it's surprising he ran from the Drakey there, but he's going to get his bonus key here while Ness is going to give us a look at the underside. Well, we got Mountain Cave, so gold grind is in full play available now. We'll see if he can get to any of these 5 chests here. Fun, it's a poltergeist first, not too scary.
And another herb up top, and according to Aaron in chat, Drakey's had heal more, so that would ruin the chance of killing them unless they happen to roll 4 HP and you just happen to roll a 2 on your final roll to take them out.
Yeah, definitely not ideal, and that explains a lot. So NESCard did find a torch in the second chest there, but finds out the metal scorpions have hurt more and gets sent back upstairs.
So now the question becomes, how long will it take before he decides to push back into Mountain Cave, knowing that he has multiple chests awaiting him? I would expect him to grind at least a couple levels out here to gain more survivability, like gain a sleep spell or some agility or something like that to get away from the metal scorpions.
Yeah, agreed. While Mand, Mand finds a town off here to the southeast and another cave. Hucks this!
The seed has my official stamp of approval with that being the first town that they see.
Yeah, you gotta love it. He almost gets to this cave. A knight's gonna send him home, but he's got knowledge. Nothing we're gonna be able to do in Hawksness for a while, though, as far as at least checking that spike tile. Ness just looking for some enemies here, walking around, is also gonna find out the good news about Hawksness.
And he did gain level 2, but all he got was 4th strength and a tiny amount of agility. A nice HP gain, though.
Yeah, 4, 1, 14, 0, and no new spells. So, yeah, the extra HP will let some of those slap fight battles go a little longer, especially with that 12 strength.
Now Mand is going to use torch strats on the Scorpion, and this will get him directly to level 3.
Yeah, we'll see what he gets overall and figure out the difference here. He's going to pick up 7, 6, 23, 0, heal more and hurt more. Watch out.
Okay, so we have gold in the treasury, we have both more at level 3, we have unlimited keys sitting in the Stones Cave near start, and we have Hawksness, which now becomes actually a good first town as long as you can get to the spike and it's something useful.
Yeah, exactly, and NESCard quickly behind, picking up his both more in that nominal stat gain there. Both of them have seen that knight down in the southeast. That wouldn't be a bad hurt more target as well. But 4 coming in at level 11, 4, 1, 18, and stop spell.
Yeah, the 18 MP is by far the most important stat there, although getting to 44 HP is also low-key important in case you see an Axe Knight and it goes first with that piddly 14 defense.
And I didn't see who NESCard blew up, but he got some nominal experience there to jump straight to level 4 and is trying to get over the spike tile.
Chat says it was a Droll Magi, and the spike is a green dragon, so that is very grindable, although they can be trolly with that 1 and 8 hurt more resist. But the Hawksness zone itself had a Druin Lord and a Droll Magi in it, so that's actually a really good grind zone when you have low HP and hurt more.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So Mand takes off a Rogue Scorpion over here, gets 5, 4, 1, 0, and hurt, which we probably won't see much of.
I do not mind this strategy one bit. It's useful to take out these mid-tier enemies at this stage because it can be very difficult to survive spike encounters against the green dragons of the world when you have basically no defense and kind of low HP. So it looks like he's just going to keep walking back and forth, taking these mid-tier enemies and probably take another level or 2.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see if Ness decides to do that as he's walking through. He does have the 5 hurt wars in his back pocket now, but Mand jumped up to 6 there, got 2, 6, 6, 11. That 11's not too shabby at all. Does have metal slimes in this zone down here.
Normally, you'd be excited to see a metal slime this early in the seed, but with Hurtmore, they are actually pretty inefficient relative to pretty much everything else you're going to be grinding right now with the Hurtmore spell. And Cardinality gets level 6 very quickly.
Yeah, and here we go. He's going to bank it all in on Hurtmore and a follow-up hurt if needed, as long as both land. They do have a 1 and 8 resist.
And the green dragon has heal, so that encounter is going to end badly.
Yeah, finds out the bad news. Just that hurt spell's not going to overcome that heal, and didn't have enough MP for 2 hurt wars. But now he's not got that knowledge, and with 51 HP, most likely to survive as long as he has first action.
And Mand took a death to a metal slime. Now, I saw he had 11 MP left, so he could have cast heal more, although I can kind of see the argument in favor of just dying there if you're not killing it.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, both are going to press in here. We see Mand. He's going to find out news about this zone as well. With that in mind, what do we think we're going to find underneath this green dragon if and when we kill it?
Well, you gotta hope for the fairy flute, right?
You know, I'm not in this race, so I can absolutely get down with a fairy flute find here.
Nothing is also a good guess. I fully support that as well. I mean, we can't make the seed too easy for them. I mean, we gave them return, we gave them free keys right outside start, we gave them early hurt more and heal more, so the seed has to give them some sort of resistance.
Well, NESCard takes it down in one shot. He's going to pick up level 7 for his efforts, getting 1 power, 10 agility, 14 hit points, 18 MP. What a level, and picks up a token.
So we get a little bit of plot progression, but that's all we get. The 44 agility is nice. They are now better than 50-50 to run against every single thing in the game except for Red Dragons, Armored Knights, and of course the Dragon Lord himself.
Yeah, now with that that HP MP combo going, this is a very viable grind for a minute. They can get their other stats in a good spot here. Maybe look for that repel before they move out into the overworld. And we'll see which one opts to do that, if they opt to sit here, grind a few levels, or if they're going to start pushing exploration.
Well, Cardinality gets another level with 18 HP, 12 MP, so the chunk gains are coming pretty quickly in this seed, although strength is still lagging at 37, but when you have Hurt More, you don't really care that much about it. But Hawksness, the zone, also has Axe Knights in it. So we have seen 3 good enemies in the Hawksness zone ignoring the spike tile.
Yeah, and let alone all the good enemies outside the zone as well. They've got a large amount of enemies they can choose to take on here. Man trying to figure out what cave this is here. Walks back and forth, opts not to go. It looked like he couldn't go up and down, so I'm thinking maybe tablet.
Yeah, I'm also a runner that does not dark dive tablet. I mean, generally speaking, it's not super important to do it. Like every once in a blue moon, you'll have the sword or armor in there, and you won't have the availability of torches or radiant. But generally speaking, it's not going to cost you not to dive it until you gain outside or something like that. And we do see NESCardinality in Garanam now, so we will see 3 more chests and a cave.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't pay attention to which way he was going. I was watching Man at the time. But yeah, another good find here. He wanted to take a look at the shop that the NPCs play in games. But see what he's got available, knowing that there is a gold grind. Terrible, terrible shop here.
Yeah, not what you're hoping for when you have a gold grind available. Although, chainmail, it's good enough to propel you through the bulk of a seed typically. So, not the absolute worst, but we do see a harp back here, wings, and in the third chest, Erdrick's armor. Well, he did the manip by buying the chainmail, so kudos to him.
Wow. All right, so now we just need to go down here, have this be grave, top 3 of... It is grave. All right, top 3 of grave, give us the rest of the stuff we need, and go kill green dragons for 25 minutes.
Yeah, just imagine if this is Erdrick's sword, Stones of Sunlight, and a fighter's ring.
So far, this seed has been extremely generous on everything but basically strength, which, as you stated, with Hurt More and 8 million Hurt Moreable enemies around, including a spike, it does not matter. We're going to get a second key, though, or third key now, Curse Belt, and then a torch, so not really nice.
Yeah, the Curse Belt just confirms what we already know with Hawksness, so not at all useful information to get at this point. So now I would imagine with all these resources, he will probably dive grave, because he may as well. And he does get another level, and wow, 11 more HP and 17 more MP.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely insane. I did just getting ready to comment on that because I saw Man pick it up. And as you can see, we're level 9. These runners are already getting orange stats, which means we're nearing that go level for those particular stats. Now, obviously, with this low strength, we're nowhere near ready to go, and we still need several items. But still, level 9, 94, 84 is insane.
And with the free healing provided by Erdrick's armor, I mean, you could go a long way on the overworld with these resources, as long as you don't run into a red dragon. That's basically it. With Hurt More, you can take down Armored Knights. You have just enough agility to get away from the Stone Men of the world, so yeah, I would expect very aggressive exploration at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see who takes advantage of it first here. Ness going to go ahead and just top back off after throwing a few Hurt Mores there. Pick up this hand axe as well.
Yeah, hand axe is not a bad thing to get. It's in this sort of scenario, it's something you generally rely on if your Hurtmore does not one-shot Axe Knights or Green Dragons.
So we do have Mand pressing off to the east here. We do see it opens up there. Meanwhile, NESCard heads south to Garanham, finds another cave.
And we have the Staff of Rain trade-in, so routing is no longer a concern as far as finding the Jerk Cave before you find the Staff trade.
Yeah, it's always nice to have that harp in hand when you find this guy and to have it already handled before you find the Jerk. Really nice so far. We'll see how this plays out. Southeast seems to be a bust for Mand there, but he does have that knowledge at least.
And under normal circumstances, you'd say somebody getting Erdrick's armor this early relative to another runner has a huge advantage, but because the resources are so absurd, and because they have both Hurt More and Heal More, it's honestly not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'd say the only main thing here is what they ultimately end up killing. We've been watching Mand here taking on a lot of those lower mid-game enemies, like the Wolf, the Metal Scorpion and such, while NESCard's just taking advantage of whatever he comes across, such as these Axe Knights.
Yeah, at this point, the experience gap is going to be heavily governed by whatever their overworld encounters are, because nobody's going to commit to a spike grind at this stage with these ridiculous stats.
NESCard didn't quite finish off the Hurt More, threw out his axe, still didn't finish him off at 65, but gets him on another swing, and level 10's coming in with 4 power, 4 agility, 3 hit points, 5 magic, radiant, and outside.
So finally we get a modest level, but we're only missing one spell at level 10. The only spell we're missing is Sleep.
Yeah, it's absolutely insanity. And NESCard finding a dead end with Wreck. Though only being our second real town, he will obviously check the shop to see if they have anything better.
Well, very loosely defining better, they have a small shield. And Mand finds out that blue dragons have DL2, which can one-shot him since he does not have the armor and he did not have over 72 HP when that happened.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got at least one enemy that's going to try and play hardball with him here. We'll see what Mand opts to do here. If he decides to go try maybe do this mountain cave now, or we know he needs to get over the Garanham to at least get that armor. That's going to help him a little bit, especially if there are more DL2 enemies running around.
Although the good news for him is that 51 agility, he's a strong favorite to go first against everything he'll see, so even if he does see something dangerous like that, he will generally have the opportunity to try to get away from it.
Alright, man, getting the news that this is mountain here. We'll see if he can make it through here in the dark. We've only gotten to see 2 of the chests here so far. Nothing good yet, but 3 more chests and still several options left to find.
Yeah, unless red dragons are lurking on the second floor, I expect this will be a very different dive for Mand than it was for Cardinality. And Cardinality, it looks like he sees Swamp South, which is right by Sharlock.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Oh, we find out there are red dragons in Swamp Cave, which means they're in the top of mountain as well.
Not great news when you only have 58 attack power.
Yeah, 58 attack power with that hand axe. He did throw out a attack, saw a whopping 5 damage, and then said, let me try and get away, which all that did was annoy the red dragon as he continues to pummel him.
Yeah, I believe his range is only 3 to 6 against them right now, and that is really not good.
Still, with those red dragons in here, he is going to give us a spike check, and it's a red dragon.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see them grinding that until we see Erdrick's sword.
Meanwhile, man getting through this mountain cave with all these extra stats. Chest 3 at the top, got an herb and a key or another herb, depending on what he's got filled up there.
And Card has entered Grimmeldar, so we will get yet another weapon shop check to see if there's anything useful. And he finds a large shield, so he's probably done with shops now. And we get Fairy Water and Mountain Chest 5, so Mountain was basically a bust.
Yeah, Mountain, a complete dumpster fire of trash. The only thing it does is potentially enable you to do a gold grind, which man seems to be staying inside the castle, so he might be opting to do, although I don't think he has seen any towns, and as we've noticed, there really hasn't been anything to buy anyway.
So this is a very interesting decision. Now, generally speaking, I strongly advocate against doing blind gold grinds in this game because the game just loves to punish you when you do that sort of thing. But in this specific case, Mand has the resources to walk around quite a ways on the overworld and survive against just about everything, so it's a bit of a different deal here. But he does have hurt more, so the incentive to grind for a flame sword is strongly diminished. So I'm very curious to see if he's going to take a full grind here or do some sort of a limited one.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. So Ness, on the other side of Swamp, walks along this top edge to the west of where we saw Rim as well, is where the Jerk Cave is. So now he's got knowledge on where that is at. Not really finding anything else here except the dead end.
Yeah, he's covering a lot of ground on the overworld right now. I didn't see if he cast Repel or not, but he probably did at 67 defense. You're getting rid of Wraith Knights and everything weaker than that, which is a pretty good idea when you have Hurt more and you can kill just about everything you want to.
Yeah, he has definitely been repelling, and has fully cleared this island and had nothing.
I do love the fact that Mand has a glitch chest, which is giving him something that he'd probably want to buy.
Well, you know, he's loading up on flame swords. He's going to give them to his wife to sell them off for a higher rate so that he can pay some dude to build a cave.
Maybe he's trying to construct the future Dragon Warrior armor where you can get Sword Edge armor, which deals damage to things that attack you.
Yeah, very fair. Man with Golden Hand is definitely going to start exploring here. Looks like he wants to save first, though. Topped off his MP. He's going to go save with this gold. Depending on what he finds while he's out there, though, I'm not sure that he'll want to reset. It's a trade-off. Do you want to reset and lose experience, or keep that gold, or vice versa?
Yeah, I'd be super reluctant to take all this time saving the game and whatnot, because when you have early hurt more, you really need to keep the experience flowing in, because leveling is probably the most important thing you can do as you look for things.
Yeah, meanwhile, Ness did go through Tablet Cave, came across our stones, so he is, if he had just done that right before going through the swamp, he could have already got that turn in, but he has that knowledge, literally just looking for a sword, with several locations left to check.
Yeah, just an amusing quirk of the routing he did. He didn't go in this empty eastern area earlier. Instead, he went and found Garenham and a bunch of other things, which is probably the much more important thing to do, as Mand is now doing.
Yeah, man, all this cash in hand, he's like, I guess I'll pick me up a chainmail and a hand axe more than likely. And then he'll go find out that chainmail did nothing as he picks up his Urdrich armor here in a moment.
Also note that Mand, when he did his gold grind, he stopped at 24k, which is that's a pretty interesting number to stop at. Like, I'm wondering if he's thinking maybe Flame Sword plus kill something, Silver Shield maybe was the rationale behind it.
Yeah, we've seen a few runners do that through the tournament. Stop just shy of what we could kind of try to figure out what he would be going for, but yeah, you know, with Hurt More and these kind of stats, he could pick up any bonus he would need, but obviously doesn't need to worry about armor now, as he does come across his grave.
Chat saying Mand gave up the silver harp. What?
Well, that's a pretty interesting strategy here. We'll wait to see if he does pop open that item screen here in a moment and double confirm that. He'll figure it out at some point, though.
Well, hopefully he realizes it now that he's seen his menu.
Alright, NESCard continuing this exploration finds a town up here on the far east coast as you head north, and that is Cole.
There's a question in chat. They were glitch chests anyway, right? No, they were not. Because with the grave being in grave being under Garenham, there's a flute and coal, of course. But no, when you enter Garenham from the overworld, it is not possible for these chests to be glitched. The only way they could be glitched is if Garenham was connected via Swamp Cave to Tantagel.
Right you are. But luckily, Mand figured out what he had done. And goes back, picks up this harp. So just a small loss of time there, but at least he is not set behind there.
And Cardinality finds Cantlin. So we have a pair of towns very close to each other, and those are the pair of towns that Cardinality wanted to find. So now he will check see if coordinates exist. And if they do, we do know what they are.
Well, there we go. 13 east, 77, one direction. It kind of glitched on me. I didn't see which way, but it has to be north, I'm assuming.
I think it was 13 south, 77 east.
Yeah, that makes more sense, yeah. Like I said, the screen on my end glitched, so I kind of saw the numbers, but not the letters. But yeah, here we go. Ness immediately counting, knowing what is at the end of that road.
And Mand goes and picks up his Staff of Rain. So now I'm curious to see when Mand will go back to the Tablet Cave, knowing that he skipped out on that earlier.
Yeah, it's a good time to do it whenever he gets back that direction, because he does have Radiant, he does have Outside, so he can turn on some lights and minimize the time he's in that place.
And we do see a bit of an experience lead opening up here. Cardinality is about 600 ahead, and here comes the chords check for the sword, which we knew was there. So now, we are already in grind and go. I mean, Ness has to do a trade-in for Rainbow Drop, but that's it. He's already in grind and go at 26.5 minutes.
Yeah, this is this is amazing. So it's going to go real fast. We know exactly what we're grinding, at least early on. And with how close this is, I'll assume we'll probably stay on the Green Dragon, even though the Red Dragon can be a little appealing with that 350 experience. It's a little off in to the Mount or Swamp Cave, though.
And Tramp Royale asks, have we found Sharlock yet? Yes. And yes, Cardinality has seen it.
So yeah, here we go. 2 Green Dragons counting this one away, and we'll see level 12. We already have a ton of HP, very decent MP. We just need that strength to really start ticking up. And Mand's going to have to really work fast to get this exploration handled if he wants to start getting on his own grind and have any chance at being in the game.
Yeah, this could spiral out of control very, very quickly if he doesn't explore super efficiently. And unfortunately, he's like doubling back into Garenham. Like, these are things that are, in the moment, they seem minor, but in a seed like this sort of thing piles up, where it's just like, this is a super jet seed. Like, I could theoretically see Cardinality entering Sharlock at 40 minutes if stats climb at a reasonable rate here.
Yeah, absolutely. We, we just had an okay agility jump there. We're up to 66 on that. Still at the 11 heal mores. That strength, just kind of lagging behind. Just no real good strength gains at all yet. But it should rubber band at some point. Sometimes that's level 13. Sometimes that's level 20. We'll see.
Strength is literally the only stat that's lit up in white right now. So yeah, I mean, we could be sitting here for 10 levels if it just doesn't come, but at the same time, the grind itself will go very, very quickly with such a deep resource pool.
So Ness opting to use that pair of wings that he had in his inventory to go back and top off versus taking a potential death warp here. We'll see if that plays out. I'm trying to figure out the play there, to be quite honest.
Well, we can count out the walk here. I mean, Hawksness is so close to start that this is probably like 20 seconds at most. So, like, I don't think there's much of a difference, to be honest.
Yeah, very fair here. So we do have Man getting into the right part of town where Rim is. We know he'll pick up nothing good here, but he's getting to those other locations that'll finalize everything outside of getting down in Tablet and picking up the stones.
And I'm seeing a recurring pattern here with Mand. He's staying at the end. This is probably muscle memory, but he keeps staying at the ends with high MP. Like, he just stayed at the Rimolder Inn when he had, I think, 79 MP or something like that. So it's like, every time you stay at the inn in this game, it's like a 10-second time loss.
Yeah, it is, especially if you're doing the whole repel regime before that, which he has been doing. So, yeah, he's going to see the dead end here this way real fast. He'll go west. He'll find the jerk cave, find the dead ends over there, and then if he goes back through swamp and goes up that east coast, heads east and goes up the coast, that's where our last two towns are located.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, he didn't check Tablet Cave first, so this is going to be a double back scenario.
It sure is. Meanwhile, Ness is going to get level 13 here on the back of this green dragon here. We'll see if we can find some of that strength here. We have found some golems over there on the other side. That's a new enemy for us. But, oh, there's some power. 28 power coming in.
Well, there's a flame sword of strength.
Well, 28 power getting us into that ballpark now. We're getting close. 117 HP as well, as inching towards possibly being able to use that death necklace as well. So we got a couple options in play depending on what the next level or two decides that wants to give us.
And as Tilo alluded to in chat, the Red Dragon grind suddenly became quite viable at 117 attack power. He would have a max roll of 36 against them, so it would be roughly a 4-swing fight.
Yeah, meanwhile, Man does see that dead end. Hits return. He's going to top off here for his MP and get out on the road. We'll see. I think at this point he's got to be stuck only going that one direction that leads up to where Cole and Cantlin were. We'll see if he opts to stop in the Tablet Cave, which we know he needs to first.
Well, he's heading in that general direction, so I believe that's exactly what he's going to do. And question in chat, who does the winner of this match play? The winner of this match plays Angel FM.
Yeah, this is it's gonna take a lot, unfortunately, for Man. Just bad luck. He explored things a slight bit differently. A few things not fully optimal, and when you're racing somebody like NESCard, who is extremely optimal in how he goes about things, those little things can definitely start to add up. You have to get a little bit of luck in your favor here, an exploration luck piece, or just finding a better grind. But none of those options have happened for Man here, so he's going to be definitely reliant on a very dangerous Charlock that just prevents NESCard from being able to make it down, I think, at this point.
Yeah, and Cat Gamer guy asked what the turning point of the race was. Well, simply put, NESCardinality went and explored and found Garenham and found the armor and just kept pushing exploration very aggressively and basically cleared pretty much the entire map about as efficiently as you can, minus the fact that he cleared the tablet cave after he saw the dirt cave, so he didn't get the one-shot routing, essentially. But other than that, he pretty much just full cleared the map very quickly.
Yeah, full cleared it very quickly while taking on some fantastic enemy encounters along the way. With that early Hurtmore, we've just seen so many good enemies. He's got to have like 7 or 8 Axe Knight kills on the overworld at this point.
Yeah, and he's opened up a 3,000 experience point lead, so even if Man gets a super efficient grind going, like 3,000 experience is probably 6 minutes-ish. So that's basically a full Sharlock dive lead at this point.
Yeah, it sure is, and NESCard is switching over that Red Dragon as we see him pop up on the screen. I was wondering if he was going to go through and pick up the Rainbow first. Probably going to go ahead and use his resources on this guy, get a level or 2, and then go ahead and push out and pick up that Rainbow in a few moments.
And this grind will be very quick. I would expect NESCardinality to see level 14 in just like 3 minutes or something like that. Like, these red dragons are gonna drop pretty quickly, and he's got plenty of resources to deal with them.
Yeah, he sure does. As soon as this one goes down, we will see level 14, so we'll get through that and do a mini recap since we're already hitting the tail end of this race for better or for worse. It's a little insane to say that at 35 minutes. But for his trouble on that Red Dragon, picking up level 14, we're going to get 1 power, 3 agility, 3 hit points, 14 MPs, not too bad though.
I'd say we're at basically even odds here to see whether or not we get the strength first or the Death Necklace HP first. I would tend to lean on the Death Necklace HP coming first. Like, we'll probably end up at like 122 attack power or something like that when we hit Death Necklace HP. And I fully expect a dive and using the Death Necklace on DL2.
100% agree. I would say there's no actual math or science behind this, but I would say based on these stats, probably at least 90% of the time that HP is going to hit DN level before we hit Go stats without it for strength.
We'll probably see another heal more gained as well. So a 14 heal more dive with decent agility. This is probably going to be pretty free unless there's a bunch of blue dragons in there and maybe they rolled Wombo. But we only saw the one blue dragon with the DLC.
Yeah, so far we've seen an okay smattering of the Sharlock tier enemies. We haven't seen an Armor Knight yet, so that could be our wild card. But other than that, not really much to do at this point. This Red Dragon is pretty standard fare attack only.
Yeah, this is what I would refer to as a basically brainless grind. And what I mean by that is you just go there and you're just on autopilot. You just swing and swing and swing, and then once your HP drops to 40, you cast Heal More, and you just wash, rinse, repeat until you get Go stats.
Yeah, and the great thing about this location, even though it's a little bit away from Tantagel, is just outside of Swamp North is Rimaldr, and he can just top right back off in that town and come back down and rinse, repeat. And probably when he pops out, he'll probably pick up his Rainbow Drop, as we just saw Man do that.
Well, one subtlety about this type of grind is whether or not you save MP and cast outside to bolt out of the cave immediately. I mean, different runners have different preferences. I think that this cave had red dragons in it, just roaming around at large, so if this was a positional consideration, I would definitely save MP and cast outside to get out, but we will see level 15 right now, and again, we get 1 power, and we also get no HP.
We got that 14 heal more, but yeah, neither of the stats that he needed here did anything for him at all. So that's pretty funny for it overall, but we're going to get a top off. So let me give a quick recap for those that may have got here late. See that we're 38 minutes, see a large lead and nearly end-game go time here, and let you know how we got here. So we started out with Return. So they got to keep their key, only got an herb and a dragon scale inside the throne room. But when they came out, there was a cave just southwest. It was the freebie cave, which also had a key, so we had infinite keys right away. Gave us access to the treasury, which didn't really give us much, but did have double gold. Basement had Mountain Cave. Mountain Cave was a complete bust. NESCard only saw 2 chests. Never had to go back in there, while Man did go in a little bit later. We got early Bothmore, meaning we got Healmore and Hurtmore at level 3. Just southeast of town was Hawksness with a green dragon on the spike, in addition to having a plethora of hurtmoreable enemies surrounding the outside and inside of that zone. Levels started flying up really, really quickly. All of the items were accessible very, very quickly as well. We had the token inside of Hawksness below that green dragon. We had the stones in the tablet cave, which was just next door. We had Erdrick sword on the coordinates, which we found up in the northeast there. We had the fairy flute inside Cole, very, very vanilla. And we had Erdrick armor in Garenham in the back. It's just been insane. The exploration went perfect for both of them. Not a lot of open, well, I won't say both of them. It looks like Man took a wrong turn and hasn't found those 2 towns yet. But up until then, he had been getting into the right areas as well. So, just insane.
Yeah, this is just one of those seeds where, as a runner, it can be very frustrating because intuitively, you know, when you get this sort of setup, it is extremely important that you explore super efficiently. Like, you just have to knock things out very quickly in a seed like this because you know full well when you're against another top runner that somebody's going to find the efficient routing and it's just going to be a ridiculously fast seed. And Mand is suffering by just, he's seeing all the empty areas of the map. He's just not finding Cantlin. And we know that the towns are paired, so he could be doing this for another like 3 or 4 minutes.
No, absolutely. The towns are paired. He needs to get to the east coast and go north. Cole was right on the coast with Cantlin just slightly back to the west. For those asking in chat, yes, NESCard has seen where to pick up his rainbow drop. It's just outside into the west of Swamp North, which is where he's at right now. So he's just going to go until he knows he can go beat the Dragon Lord, pick it up on his way, and stop off in Rim and probably just walk back through this cave and right into Sharlock, which is just outside Swamp South.
And a comment in chat saying if Card dies, it's going to set him back and give Mand a better chance to catch up. Well, the experience lead at this point is gigantic, and Cardinality knows the math in every encounter he sees in this game, and I would be extremely surprised if he takes another death unless something tags him in Sharlock with like a sleep DL2 combo. Like, he's not the sort of runner that's going to take a careless death at this stage.
No, absolutely agree. I'm the kind of runner that will take a careless death at this stage, but definitely not NESCard. He is on point for sure. So yeah, we're gonna get level 16 here in a moment after this red dragon. We're looking for strength and or HP to get to levels that will allow us to go kill us a Dragon Lord, and we'll very likely be seeing the dive momentarily.
No power, but we did see 28 MP, and we also saw MP, so we have 16 Healmores. The Death Necklace will take him to 129 attack power. This is very much go mode. This is a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. You start feeling a little bit of crush after you see that no strength pop up, and then you see that 28 HP, and you start to smile, and then the MP is just a nice added bonus.
Yeah, so this is basically 16 swings and a bunch of Healmores. It's just, yeah, this is... He doesn't even have to check the treasury for the fighter's ring. Like, this is just straight up go into Sharlock, go for game. Like, you don't even need to waste time getting fairy water or any of that sort of thing. Just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll hit up Rim right here. It is our closest town. He'll walk right back through Swamp Cave. Sharlock's just outside the other side, so... question in chat, what's the range? If he opts not to use the Death Necklace, he'll be doing a range of 4 to 9. If he does throw on that Death Necklace, he'll bump up to 129 attack power, would be doing 7 to 14.
Yeah, if he didn't use the Death Necklace, the only way he would win that fight is to, and people have done this before. You can load up on fairy water, get up to like 80 damage or whatever your fairy water gets you to, and then spam Hurtmores and then do chip damage and finish off DL2 that way. So it's something you can do. And oh, by the way, Blue Dragons officially have Wombo. So if they are in Charlock, that will pose a threat. And Cardinality takes a death to the Wombo. So as I said previously, Cardinality is not the type that will take a careless death. However, if he gets surprise womboed, he's just as vulnerable as anybody else.
Yeah, not much you can do about a surprise wombo in that case for sure. And then obviously he didn't wake up, which is just the real bad kicker for him there. So 82 agility, definitely the favorite to not get back attacked and to be able to get away in that situation. Just, it's just a bad turn. It's just a minor setback though. He's going to top off in Garenham. Charlock is about 2 screens northeast from here.
Yeah, so at 82 agility, he's roughly 75% to run on Blue Dragons. So this isn't a scenario where you have like a Red Dragon with Wombo where you're going to start leading out with Stop Spell because your run chances aren't great. Like, the clear play is to simply try to run away from them. And Mand has finally found Cantlin and Cole, so now he sees the flute, and now he knows that the coordinates are definitely Erdrick's sword.
Yeah, and he's kind of pausing there. I think he's just figuring that out in his mind as he was walking around. Hits that return button. We'll see if he opts to count or if he's going to pick him up a princess for these coordinates.
And DePaul Doug asking why Mand didn't buy a flame sword there, had money not buying anything else. Well, because of knowledge. Like, there's literally no need to buy the flame sword when you know for a fact that Erdrick's sword is sitting on the coordinates.
Yeah, exactly. It's 90 total steps away, but it's relatively quick. We saw NESCard, who is really, really good, obviously, at doing core counts as well, but it was almost a straight shot over. So a little slow doing one tile at a time, but he'll be there in about 30 seconds and have his sword, flame sword, absolutely not needed in this situation.
And I said once upon a time that Cardinality might enter Charlock at 40 minutes. He ended up going in at 45 minutes. However, we are now seeing Armored Knights also have sleep. So Charlock is now looking quite volatile as Cardinality just got sleep locked for several turns.
Yeah, he sure did. And that's what I said. That Armor Knight's probably going to be our wild card without knowledge of the other enemies, because we are still not officially favorites to run from them, although we're near that coin flip area. But you never want to see us sleep on either of those big 2 enemies, the Armor Knight or the Red Dragon. It can lead to a real bad time.
And this does lead to a strategic implication. So if you see Armored Knights from this point forward, you know you're just under a coin flip to run away. You haven't tried Stop Spell on them at all. You have a deep resource pool. Do you try to just run on them and hope that they're just 25% asleep? Or do you throw out Stop Spell?
Well, and there's the other issue. Do we want to play the game of what is their Stop Spell resist live while trying to do a winning dive as well? I think I'm going to rely personally on my high HP and the fact that I'll hopefully get away versus maybe trying to figure that out on the fly and on dive.
With such a deep resource pool, I could see the argument for throwing one out just to see if it lands, and then if it doesn't, just go all run strats. Because they do have an enormous amount of MP at this point. I mean, 130 MP is just absurd. I wouldn't say it's rare, but it's definitely in the uncommon territory.
No, I don't disagree at all. That is a pretty high MP count. Now, meanwhile, Mand killed an Armor Knight, didn't see sleep, got 2 attacks off on this second one, then finds out they do have sleep and throws out a Stop Spell. It does land.
And so at the 6,000-ish experience point gap, assuming Mand gets sent back shortly and does a Red Dragon grind, that's like 18 Red Dragons, 17 Red Dragons, something like that. It's in the teens, so you're looking at maybe 8, 9, 10 minutes, somewhere in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did see Mand, just like you mentioned at the beginning of this race, he was doing an overworld grind here where we have a viable Hurtmore target in Hawksness or that red dragon. Maybe he was just looking for a death warp and finishing out his resources here. We'll see. But we do have red dragons on the bottom zone, and we have a used a Healmore.
Well, the good news is he's got a few to spare, so it's totally fine to swing through the reds and not fall into the volatility trap of getting like 10 run fails in a row, although there's another one that ambushed him. And now he's trying to run, and he just got blocked.
Yeah, I think he might have even tried to fight through it, decided to try the run because of the back attack. Ultimately, he is going to have to burn a Healmore and is no closer to killing it or escaping. Yeah, that was a nasty red dragon. I think he got 3 or 4 turn run block there. Finally gets away, down a second. We're getting another red dragon. Is going to go ahead and swing through this one.
And he gets dodged, so this is potentially getting interesting. If he keeps running into red dragons, this might be a scenario where he might take 17 and hope for a stat boost to make the DL2 fight safe.
Yeah, agreed. We'll see what happens here. He's not very far away. 12,000 experience needed for the next one. Is out of herbs now. We're down a couple Healmores, and we don't even know what the spike tile is yet.
And here comes the stop spell, as one would expect, and that one also lands. So we're 2 for 2 on stop spells against Armored Knights.
Yeah, that's a good sign from our end. It looks like it's low to no resist. Although, as we're seeing, as he's continually just attacking, we're probably looking at just a 25% sleep based on the two people we have running the Knights encounters.
So he's going to enter the DL fight here. He's suboptimal HP. He has no herbs left. And this is not going to be anywhere near free. This is going to be a dicey fight, but as long as you're down here, I fully support the aggression of just, you're down here, you may as well take a shot at it and see if you win, because you can always roll above average.
Yeah, he's still got a chance for sure. The only suboptimal play I think I've seen him do the entire race was not put that death necklace on prior to the Dragon Lord fight, because he wasn't anywhere close to full HP, so he could have gone in here swinging a little harder, took an extra hit there, and had to blow another Healmore as a result as well.
Luckily for him, he went first, so he's still very much in this fight, but this is extremely dicey, guys.
Yeah, and our tracker is going to keep us count down there in the middle where we normally have the coordinates, so you can get a count there. But yeah, this is going to be super tight. He's going to have to get some luck, some high rolls. That 8 definitely not on the high end, so we'll see how this plays out.
And with a max HP of 111, he does have a fairly small shot at getting a double here. I mean, I wouldn't expect it with 81 defense, but he has a shot at one. And there's always the opportunity, if he's behind in his damage rolls, to manufacture one by swinging at like 45, 46, or 47 HP.
Yeah, very fair. And chat bringing up a good point about the low HP, knowing that he might have to use the Healmore in battle, so he had that extra HP to play with. That does make sense there, and is definitely not something I would have thought of on the fly.
And he is throwing out Hurtmores.
Yeah, he must have done the mental math and realized he wasn't going to be able to get there with we saw several single-digit rolls there, so going to try and see if we can get one of these lucky 1 in 16 Hurtmores to land. Not looking good though.
And somebody said miss menu. I highly doubt that. Cardinality knows the math of the fight, and he knew when he, like, I am 100% certain that he knew when he initiated the dialogue with the Dragon Lord that he was going to have to roll well to have a realistic shot at winning the fight. And when the first phase played out the way that it did, the YOLO Hurtmores were very much on the table once that concluded.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got the Sharlock that's necessary, like we were talking earlier when Man was so far behind, for him to be able to get back in. Now, granted, he is still quite a ways behind at this point, but it's not going to take too long for him to get these levels. He's just got to get up to 9750 to get to level 16. So, you know, we'll see what happens. A second dive here that goes bad, a bunch of red dragons. Maybe we run into that that blue dragon that is just not very friendly with the sleep, and things can go south real fast again.
So with 10 red dragons needed, that's roughly 5 minutes. So Cardinality has the time to do pretty much another full dive, depending on encounter rate here. And then depending on how this dive goes, if this fails on DL2, then we're basically looking at a near tie situation, maybe even a situation where Mand has a slight lead entering Sharlock for his first dive. But yeah, this is no longer a walk in the park sort of deal. This is getting to be nerve-wracking when you fail a DL2 fight.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Because it's even if you go in knowing that you don't have the greatest odds, which he probably did know, having been down several Healmores at that point, that Dragon Lord fight just takes so much time between going through the initial phase and then going through all of your resources on the second one. So he is going to go ahead and opt to take a lot of these battles, it looks like, here on the dive, and try and pick up 17. He's just shy of it.
Yeah, as long as you're this close to the next level, with full knowledge of Sharlock, knowing that the bottom zone is littered with red dragons, knowing that you have an armored knight with sleep on the spike tile, which, if you're unlucky, will ambush and potentially sleep lock you. This is a very straightforward play of just taking the level and hoping it gives you something useful to give you a little bit more leeway if you get unlucky on the bottom floor again.
Yeah, he's getting unlucky on some of these fights. Should be in the range of being able to two-shot, but having to three-shot several of them so far. But we'll see. We're just over 200 experience away, so a couple more of these enemies definitely doesn't want to tangle with this guy if at all possible, but maybe throw up. There we go, throws out the stop spell.
I saw a little bit of discussion in chat about whether or not Mand goes for it on 15, and 15 was not realistic. 15 did not have Death Necklace HP unless you feel like fighting the Dragon Lord with 90. And, I mean, the one difference here that should be pointed out, which I didn't notice until just now, is that Mand does have a silver shield, which will let him repel green dragons on down in Sharlock, which is not a bad thing, and when he gets to 16, he will also be defense breaking the first form of the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, very, very, very fair there. I didn't see him pick up the silver either, so yeah, that extra defense will literally be at 91 defense once he hits 16 here. So this Werewolf, though, is going to give NESCard the level. We'll see what he gets out of it.
Some modest gains, but the 4 strength doesn't seem like much, but it's actually kind of a big deal. I mean, 133, you're at 8 to 16. It's basically 14 swings makes you pretty much a lock against the Dragon Lord. So yeah, that's kind of a big deal. It's like basically means you can burn an extra heal more relative to the previous level.
Ooh, yeah, agreed. No, it's not to be overlooked there for sure, even though he doesn't get to take advantage of that 10 MP, right? But that Armor Knight, man, he is having some rough luck with him. Many multi-run fails from him. Not opting to top off at all, hoping to heal walk here.
And we can also point out that the HP climbed a bit, so 118 HP with like a 11 or 12 heal more Dragon Lord fight, you're even at the 82 defense, you're pretty likely to get at least one double. So that's another margin of safety. And in Mand's case, even at 111 with the higher defense, he might see a double in his fight when he dives.
Yeah, and he's getting close to that level 16 here. So let's not count him out yet. NESCard having some, okay luck, but he had okay luck down through this point on the first dive as well. It was zone 3 where the Red Dragons really started to rear their head against him and cost him some of those heal mores.
Yeah, if memory serves, he entered the bottom zone on dive 1. I think he had full resources. Like, I think he was at full MP and just got absolutely brutalized.
Yeah, made it through zone 2. There was only one Red Dragon encounter pretty early, and then just saw these little smaller enemies here. We'll see if that luck can continue, although that bottom 4 is extremely long.
Yeah, on average, I believe the bottom floor walk, not including the spike tile, you would expect to get something like 8 encounters. So if this is like a 40% Red Dragon zone or something like that, you're going to be dealing with probably 3 of them, which is never great when you're looking at an RNG fest trying to run away from them, although he does get away from that one.
Yeah, so far just 2 total encounters and does make it around to this spike. He's going to probably throw another stop. Gets back attack slow.
So this is the thing that I mentioned a bit earlier, is like, with the full knowledge, knowing the spike tile is an Armor Knight, and a stop spell misses. That's our first resisted stop spell, and he throws another one rather than healing. That's an interesting decision. But at 28 HP with 82 defense, ooh, yeah, he was in danger there if the Armor Knight rolled high.
Yeah, and it rolled high on that very next attack too. He got hit with a 30 after the heal more. So yeah, he was definitely in danger, and he's in not a good position right now. He's down to 13 heal mores again.
But with the 133 attack power, it's a much better scenario. With the 118 max HP, he should expect to get a double in this fight. So unless he rolls really poorly or like gets back attacked by DL2 and doesn't get a swing in the opening round, I feel like he's in much better shape here. And especially in much better shape after that stop spell comes out.
Exactly. That stop spell was huge. Goes in at 101 HP. Looking, does get back attacked though, but still looking good.
So as long as his heal mores don't roll poorly, with the expected getting 14 swings in this fight with no doubles, he is a favorite. And I do expect him to get at least one double in this fight, so I would say he's a pretty strong favorite, to be honest.
Yeah, I absolutely agree here. Roll's looking decent so far for sure. Meanwhile, we do have Man hitting up 16, is topping off here in Garaham, and will be making his initial dive here in a couple moments. So he is definitely poised and ready to go should anything happen here. But these rolls just keep on coming in very nicely for NESCardinality.
Yeah, so I would say now that this fight is a must-win for NESCardinality. If he fails this fight, Mand with his stats, I mean, of course he can get unlucky, but his stats very much favor winning on his dive. Like, I feel like the Silver Shield mitigating damage to some extent will assist him in getting doubles against the Dragon Lord, and the defense breaking of DL1 will help him out further. So I feel like as long as he gets to the fight with a reasonable amount of resources, he would be a strong favorite with his equipment.
No, absolutely agree. That's very sound logic as well. We had seen a couple of those turns go a little low on the attack power there from Ness, but he turned it around with a 15 there.
So I think with like 4 more swings after this, he should be okay. Like, even if he min rolls all of them, he could still beat the Dragon Lord, but min rolling all of the swings is only something that somebody like me would do.
Yeah, he did do a couple in a row there, but then pulled out the 16. So, he offset that. We're at 138 there. I think we're completely free at this point, 148, and 2 attacks left.
Yeah, he needed all of his swings, but yeah, he got there. The game tried to troll us a little bit with a 9 right there, but he got there on what I would assume is his last swing. I mean, it is possible for the Dragon Lord to roll really low on a melee, but get your GGs out in chat. NESCardinality will win this race and advance to the round of 8 to face Angel FM.
Yeah, what a race, man! Wow, you're almost as a runner smiling this entire time, and because everything's being thrown at you, everything. Your HP is flying through the roof. The MP was flying through the roof. Heal more, hurt more at level 3. Here's every item in the game. 27 minutes in, we're grind and go for NESCardinality, and then Sharlock happens, and Sharlock is the great equalizer, and it tried to do it tonight. As we see, Mand already in zone 3 on his initial dive here, so not too far behind.
Yeah, it's truly amazing what one failed dive can do to you in a seed like this. I mean, Mand was like 6,000 experience behind at one point, and he clawed that gap back after that failed dive. So this is very, very close now all of a sudden.
Exactly. Mand must want to have this fighter's ring for level 16. He is checking the treasury here in Sharlock. Unfortunately, has found absolute garbage so far, and it was not here. So either judge's table or bottom of grave. But meanwhile, with that, Dean, we do have tonight's winner, NESCardinality, joining us. GG's on the race. Fantastically run. Super Jet, how you feeling?
GG, thank you very much. I just want to ask before we talk, is this Mand's second dive or first?
No, it is his first. Mand had a little bit of exploration issues where you came across nearly everything perfectly. The only thing kind of out of order was finding the Rainbow Drop Cave prior to having all 3 items. And we're on to a grind. Mand was still trying and looking down all these dead ends, looking for those last locations, unfortunately. At one point, you had just over a 6,000 experience point lead.
Wow, that's what Red Dragons will do when you have such great experience. Like, this is the main thing I wanted to talk about. I figured, because everything was basically perfect. I mean, you say I found the Rainbow Drop Cave out of order, but it was incredibly beneficial to go there first, so that when I found Cantlin, I could go home and check the coordinates instead of continuing to explore for the caves I hadn't found. So I was really, really happy with that. And I thought, you can't get better exploration luck than this. So I'm not surprised that I jumped out to a big lead because of that. I mean, this win, as you can see, is entirely based on exploration luck.
No, and that was a great point you bring up there as well. You didn't have to go any further on that initial continent, because that second continent was small, but it gave you the last little bits of knowledge you needed outside those last 2 towns. So things were going fantastic, minus the Rainbow Drop, which you already knew where it was. Grind and go at 27 minutes in. How did you feel once you got in the Sharlock?
I mean, just the very first thing I saw was an armored knight who's put me to sleep. So I was like, okay, this is what's been happening, the past few nights. Anytime I haven't gotten a seed where there are no towns nearby and it's a slog, Sharlock has just been really, really tough to compensate for the extra resources. So I've been prepping for this. I sort of had it on my mind. And I got a bit of a smirk because when I saw the Armored Knight cast Sleep, I said to myself, well, if it's the Spike Tile, now I know it has Sleep and I can keep that extra 2 MP, and that's exactly what happened. Unfortunately, there were way more Red Dragons than I was comfortable with, obviously, but the second dive brought it home.
Yeah, absolutely. So meanwhile, Mand gets over here, is able to keep nearly all of his resources, has a really good Dragon Lord one fight and gets in with a opening double. He is still at level 16, so 129 attack power. We'll see how he does, but he is in a very good position to be able to win this with going in at 14 heal wars.
Yeah, with that many, so 16 no ring, but 15 attacks to win on average, and 14 heal mores looks really, really good right now.
Yeah, so our tracker will keep count of that in the middle there, where the coordinates normally would be in our tracker layout here. So But while that's counting down, then let me ask you one thing about your initial dive. What was your thoughts as you were approaching the Dragon Lord, knowing you were down several heal mores, and how you were thinking about approaching that fight?
I would never just fight the Dragon Lord for the sake of it. I'm always analyzing, right down to the bare bones of it. Like, what kind of odds do I have, and is it worth the time to try and commit? And in this case, I felt like I was only like an attack and a half-ish behind. So I thought if I went into it and I rolled above average, I could make something happen. And if not, I was going to bail out early with hurt mores. And that's exactly what happened. It didn't cost me too much more time given the fact that I was already down there. So, happy with all those decisions. But, if I were like 3 heal mores short or something like that, I wouldn't even enter the fight. I would just cast outside.
Gotcha. No, that's absolutely sound logic, and you never know when RG's going to roll your way. As we see, man, one single dive gets down here, still has 119 MP. Neither of your dives, even after getting that extra level there, did you have that much MP left. So let's go ahead and count out man here for the end here. He's at 112 attacks or damage already, and still has...
oh no! I guess that's for swag, because he's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Just scared me for a second.
No, he is going straight up hurt more. Maybe knowing that he's already lost, he's just going for the swag.
Right.
So, because, yeah, he was in a good position, but yeah, started throwing out the hurt mores here. Oh, yeah, I thought it was a missed menu for a moment myself.
Well, I hope he hits it right here. This is the last chance.
Yeah, that was clearly for the memes. He was in a position to easily take down the Dragon Lord had he chose to continue swinging through.
Right.
Well, get your GGs out for man. A very hard-fought race. Made a really good attempt at trying to get back in this. Obviously, not knowing how far behind he was at one point. To be in a position to finish, 7 minutes behind somebody that had a relatively fantastic race outside of, Sherlock being Sherlock to him. So we'll see if man wants to come in and talk about his experience as well.
Mm-hmm.
The one question I have for you, Ness, is what went through your mind when you missed the stop spell on the Armored Knight and you were taken down into the high 20s and opted to cast another stop spell against it rather than casting Heal More? Because you were very much in danger there. I got nervous.
Yeah, it wasn't 100%, but I was thinking about my first dive with all the red dragons on the way and how much I needed these resources. I didn't want to run dry. And I felt that 28 was enough. I know people will notice that I didn't swing when I was at 49 HP against the Dragon Lord with 3 heal mores left, or 3 attacks left. And in retrospect, I think I should. The Dragon Lord had, it says on screen, 162 HP. So I could have lost that if I had rolled like all minimums. Like I think I had done 157 on my second last attack, so I was actually guaranteed on my last attack, but it was just barely, and I probably should have swung at 49, but I was just thinking, we're not there yet, who knows how many red dragons I'm going to encounter on the bottom floor, so I felt with 28 I was going to go for it and hope for the best.
I said something weirdly similar to what you just said during the fight when DK thought it was a lock. I was like, well, he could roll 3 minimums here, but that's something that only I would do.
Oh man. Oh, I still need to look at your zany 4 million to 1 shot. I totally forgot about that. I need to check that out tonight.
It's truly special.
I really do sympathize with the negative RNG stories that I've heard you tell.
Yeah, isn't it great that Beta joins our community and sacrifices himself for all those just like outlandish experiences so that the rest of us don't have to go through it as much? I
mean, if it actually worked that way, I would say yes. I thank you from the bottom of all our hearts, Beta, for minimizing everyone else's RNG variance.
As I like to say, I live on the wrong side of probability so the rest of you don't have to.
That's fantastic. So we have, man, he's getting some water, should be along with us here momentarily. We'll get his thoughts. But while we're waiting, NESCard, up against Angel FM in the quarterfinals, how are you feeling about that matchup?
I guess I could argue that it's a shame that we have to face ourselves so early. Like I could argue that way, but then on the other hand, the competition this year is so strong and so tight, and it's not just in the playoffs here. It's not just in the tournament. It's been for the past few months in the public races as well. I really feel like there's less of a difference between the top players and a lot of the players remaining in the playoffs. And that really shone through. For example, with Man. Man was a formidable opponent. I never once assumed that I was going to win. Sort of detached myself emotionally and just said, play my game, and whatever happens, happens. And that's exactly what's going to happen next round. But again, if whoever advances from this next match, again, it's just not over yet because the caliber of skill is so high this year. It is going to be a fantastic final 3 rounds, whatever happens.
Yeah, I think you said it best. It's insane the amount of parity there is in this community now, and just how good everybody really truly is. We're seeing some very, very fantastic matchups so far, and some really fun races. So we did get Man to join us. GG Man, how are you feeling about this one?
Thanks. Man, that was a jet.
Yeah, the game kind of just threw everything at you. It said, hey, you need some more HP, here's some MP as well. Both more at level 3, here you go. Oh, you want to grind? There's 8 million hurt mortal enemies just southeast of here, including a spike tile.
Yeah, that was honestly the sort of jet that I really felt like I was probably going to be behind facing NESCard in. A lot of menuing, which NESCard is one of the best out there. A couple things cost me 2 that I wish I'd done a little bit better, like getting the was it Stones or Token out of Tablet, but I wish I'd had that when I got a Jerk. But I'm definitely very pleased that I think all 3 of our matchups went down to basically everybody and both of us in Sharlock at once, so hopefully it was exciting for all the viewers.
Yeah, that's the best way for it to end up.
No, absolutely. And unfortunately, you did have some exploration luck, like you said. Didn't have the stones in hand when you came across the rainbow drop. Had a little trouble finally finding up where Cole and Cantlin were, which ultimately got you the flute, which was pretty much worthless as normal, but gave you the cords for the sword, right? So at one point you did have a pretty sizable disadvantage, but Sharlock being Sharlock, you saw the better sides of Sharlock, while NESCard didn't, and was getting slept by armored knights and was getting all the fun on the way down. So you did get caught up on that one there, but I just wanted to really say I really appreciate the Swagmore attempts at the end.
I tried. At least they got one in on the Red Dragon by accident.
All right. So as far as other things, any thoughts on the race outside of being the jet and what I kind of mentioned there, Man, or just thought on the tournament as a whole as you progress so well up through this, round 2 in the bracket stage?
Not really on the races itself. I think that was just such an comfy jet, aside from the Blue Dragons and the Armor Knights, which I can't remember if I think I maybe saw they had sleep before I went into Sharlock, but I definitely knew the Blues did, because that's what sent me back from the Cole and Cantlin area first time. Oh, sorry. Windows wants to restart suddenly. But as the tournament itself, I'd just like to thank everybody I've faced, all the volunteers, the community itself, and the admins. I felt like I've improved so much during this. Before this, I wasn't blind diving anything but Swamp Cave, and that was just to get to one end to the other. I couldn't count anything past 20 something, and I couldn't do a reverse count at all, and I've basically improved tremendously, I feel like. So thank you for putting this on. This has been fantastic. It's been a wonderful experience, and I hope you do better next year.
Yeah, very nicely put there. Any questions for either of the runners, Beta here?
No, I think I've pretty much seen what I needed to see. The seed was generally straightforward. It was just weird scenario where you had the super volatile Charlock, and it's one of those situations where it's like, do you throw stop spell at Armored Knights when they throw sleep at you or not? But other than that, there's not a whole lot of in-depth things to go into with this seed.
Yeah, very nice. Any final thoughts, NESCard? Sorry.
That's okay. A big thank you as always to people seeing you guys for running this race and tracking it. I hear tons of positive comments about Beta and DK on commentary. I didn't get to watch the last one back yet because I've been so busy, but I'm looking forward to watching this one and the previous and hearing all the great commentary. All the tracking, restreaming. Can't say it enough. You guys are awesome. This tournament has been amazing so far. And boy, what an amazing final 4 rounds this is going to be.
Yeah, couldn't say that better myself. So, yeah, right now, after tonight's race, we have 7 of our 8 runners that have moved on to the quarterfinals locked up. We do have Juf versus Ziggy. Race 2 still coming up on Saturday. So look for that on Saturday. If they do have to go to a race 3, that will be on Saturday, I believe, just a few hours later. So 1 p.m. Saturday, be watching for that matchup and see which one of the runners moves on. Ziggy does have a 1-0 lead in that best of 3 series. So as we wrap up things here, we're going to do a solid to our runner tonight and send this over live to NESCardinality after we're done. So just wanted to thank everybody for being here. Thank you to our restreamer Camion, Renikai, and Vinicus doing the tracking behind the scenes. And for my co-commentator Betastrap, I was DK9146. Everyone have a fantastic evening.